or want to have the mission that you're trying to help them get to, and then help them get there. And that's it. The great thing about college, because I have no interest in working with post-collegiate kids, because in college, everyone wins. You come there, you may the Olympics one day, you may just run 3 or 4 years there and done. But everyone can get their degrees, so everyone can win.
9 Olympic gold medals, 8 World Championship medals, world records. Do you enjoy being able to see tangible results from what you can pass on to these students?
Well, the first thing you have to realize that I did is that you're a different generation, they think differently. What I bring to the table for them, other than the knowledge that my coach Tom Tellez gave to me and the understanding, is I've been in every race they're going to be in. At every level. I was world ranked at 17, and all the way through the time till I was 36, world ranked. And that means I ran high school meets, I ran college meets, I ran international meets, I ran world. So anytime they go through an experience, I did that at some point, so I could give them a perspective that they may not understand because I've been through that. And I remind them that part of it 99 times to 1. That, hey, this workout, I did that. I know what you feel like. I know it's hard. It's okay. That's what I talk about more as opposed to when I was winning this race, blah, blah, blah.
Carl, you broke world records at 100 and you still hold the world record for the indoor long jump. You jumped something like 60 times further than the longest jump in the world this year. So you broke so many barriers, and of course to you it came naturally, but this race has been breaking barriers since 2005. I think in 2005 there were 85 women who ran in this race. 85 women out of roughly 15,000, that's less than 1%. On Sunday there's going to be about 25% women running. That is a massive shift, that's a real barrier smashed by this event. But it came naturally to you breaking barriers. This event has had to work really hard to break barriers, cultural barriers and so on. But do you not get students coming to you going, it was okay for you, you were gifted from the gods, you had this talent, this innate talent to break world records and long jump across the stadium. It's not so easy for us.
Well, I tell you this, it's everyone has their challenges. Even for me, when I was 17, I jumped 8:13 in the long jump. And when I came to college, I said, I want to jump 890. So my first year in college, I changed my technique 100%. So here I am, I was 5th in the world, I was 17 years old, and I had to change my technique 100%.
Because of knee injuries?
No, well, mainly because there's no way I could have jumped that far with that technique. So he said, if you want to jump this far and save your knees, because I did have a knee issue, you have to change everything. So that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. So my first year, I made the Olympic team. I had a lot of success in my transition, not because I was jumping so great, it's because everyone was jumping like they are now. It was exactly like it is now. And then the second year, it took me 2 years to make that transition. The second year is when it popped. And I remind the kids, when I was 17, I was 5th in the world. When I was 18, I was an Olympian. When I was 19, I set my first world record. When I was 20, I was making 6 figures. But I was still an idiot because I was still those ages. Nothing sped up the aging process. It's just that I had the success. And so I try to remind them, it doesn't matter how good you are, how much talent you are, how hard you work, you're still who you are and you still need to learn.
But you were making big money at 19, 20, as you said. So who guided you through all the dangers of going in the wrong direction with all that money as still virtually a kid? Was it Tellez? Was it your mum and dad?
No, that's a great question. Coach Tellez wasn't bothered with money at all. He's like, you do what you do. So that was my family and parents, and then I hired a manager and an accountant pretty early, and I made some financial mistakes early enough where, thank God they were early, so that they could tell me, see what happens, we're going to do this. And so I understood and respected that. But one of the things that I knew all along, or felt all along, was I was very concerned about retirement. My entire career, I was like, there's no way I could ride this all the way. And I never thought that I would have the type of career that I've had post my career. First of all, you have to remember, when I went into the Olympic Games, athletes didn't go to 2 and 3, maybe 2, never 3, never 4. It just didn't happen. So, especially in my events, in sprints and the long jump. So I had to consider the fact that I'd probably retire in my 20s. So I had to get it together because I thought I'll never match this the rest of my life. So therefore, I need to prepare myself for that.
And you won your 4th long jump Olympic gold at 35,
35,
in
yeah.
Atlanta. In
35.
Now I always think that coaching should be a process that sort of builds like a fountain, it's a champagne fountain. In other words, each generation of coaches should know more and more and guide their athletes so fewer and fewer mistakes are being made. But you said you made mistakes and then learned the hard way to get things right. Are you passing on that knowledge to your students now? In theory, they should be incredibly privileged because they're being taught by somebody who has been through it.
Great. The challenge is that society is not telling kids they're wrong about anything. Society says, oh, they're smarter than you. They did it, and they're not holding them accountable. They're not pushing them to the level. I think we are underselling the world's children, especially in America. America, it's ridiculous. Kids are spoiled. They can't do anything. They've got mental health people everywhere, and it's like they can't handle anything. And I think that we're selling them short. Kids can take so much more. They're more resilient. They're smarter. They can handle things, but we're almost teaching them not to be able to handle things and not pushing them enough so they can find their potential so that when they do have issues, they can't handle it. So therefore, we're in a place in society where the real main thing is to find people, because there are some whose parents raised them that way, whatever, to find those kids. That can be tough. I know that every single athlete on that team, I push them to be excellent.